workout for today. I'm going to be using a set of dumbbells and my jump rope today. I'll also be using a mat, but if you don't have dumbbells or a jump rope, please stick around because you can still do this workout with me. I will be providing equipment-free modifications for every single exercise. There are timestamps in the description box down below the video, so if you want to skip straight ahead to the workout, you can use the chapter markers to do that. If you would like to see the exercises demonstrated and explained before we begin, I'm going to start by demonstrating and explaining the very first exercise that we're doing today. For the remainder of the exercises, I'm going to have you click here. I will put a link up here, the little iCard in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. Click on that link. That is going to take you to my previous workout video that I shared on Friday as part of our 5-Minute Friday series, because all the rest of the exercises that we're doing today are the exercises from that workout. And I took plenty of time before that workout to demonstrate and explain all 3 of the exercises and provide your equipment-free substitutions. So before we begin today, let me just go ahead and start by showing you the first exercise that we are doing today. It is espressos. If you follow my workouts regularly, you have definitely seen this exercise before. This is what it is. It's basically just a push-up on the dumbbells, 2 plank rows, and then a hammer curl plus an overhead press. So I'm going to start by holding on to my dumbbells. These weigh 10 pounds a piece, which is a good weight for me. You may need to use something lighter or heavier. That's going to depend on your strength and on your level of fitness. It also depends on what you have available to you and how hard you're looking to push yourself today. So please consider all of those factors when choosing your weights and make the decision that is best for you. My dumbbells are also flat on the bottom, which is significant because I'm going to be holding on to the dumbbells and doing push-ups while holding on to the dumbbells. And I'm going to be in a plank position with all of my weight on the dumbbells. So if you have dumbbells that are rounded on the ends, I would prefer that you not use them the way I'm using them. I don't necessarily think it's safe to put your body weight on rounded dumbbells because they're liable to roll around on you. You could fall and get hurt. And obviously I don't want anyone falling and getting hurt. So if your dumbbells are not flat on the bottom, I would prefer that you modify this exercise, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But if your dumbbells are flat on the bottom, here's what we're doing. I'm going to start standing in a neutral position, holding my dumbbells to my side. Now I'm going to bend down and put the dumbbells down on the ground. You can step your feet back. I'm going to be jumping my feet back so that I'm in a plank position while holding on to the dumbbells. Now from here, I'm going to do a push-up. So bend your arms and lower your chest down as low to the ground as you can. Now press the ground away, and I'm going to do 2 plank rows. So one at a time, I'm going to bend the elbow and lift the weight up towards the shoulder on the same side, then control the movement as I put the weight back down. Now I'll repeat that on the other side. So with the other arm, I'm gonna bend the elbow, bringing the weight up towards the shoulder on the same side. Now don't just drop the weight down, but control the movement and place the weight down on the ground. From here, I'm going to jump my feet back in. You can step your feet back in if you need to. And now from here, I'm still holding on to the dumbbells. I'm just going to stand, bringing the dumbbells with me. And now my palms are facing the outside of my legs. I'm going to do a hammer curl, meaning that I'm going to bend my elbows and curl the weights up towards my shoulders. So that in this position, again, my palms are facing my ears. My palms are facing one another. So if you think about the way you would swing a hammer, that's the grip that you have on your dumbbells as you curl the weights up to your shoulders. And now from this position, I'm going to press the weights up overhead. So again, my palms are facing each other. Now I'm going to reverse the movement. So bending the elbows, bring the weights back down to the shoulders, and now straighten the arms and bring the weights back down to the side. Again, making sure you're controlling every aspect of the movement. So not just letting the weights fall down, not using momentum to swing the weights up, but using your muscles to control the movement. So control the movement as you bring the weights up to the shoulders, control the movement as you press them up overhead, and lower them back down to the shoulders, and control the movement as you straighten the elbows and bring the weights back down to your sides and return to your starting position. So that's one rep. Let me put one together faster so that you see the flow of it. So I'm standing in a neutral position. Put the weights down, jump the feet back so you're in a plank position. Push up on the dumbbells, row, row. Now jump the feet back in, stand, hammer curl, and overhead press. That is an espresso. Please make sure also that you're minding your form on your push-up. So don't let your hips or your belly drop down to the ground. Make sure that you're keeping your hips high. If your hips are slightly elevated like this, that's not terrible. As long as your back is flat, you're not going to hurt yourself, and it will actually make the push-ups just a bit easier, so don't worry too much about that. But what you don't want to do is to allow your hips or your belly to drop, because here you can see that my back is arched, and if you are doing the push-up without a straight back, with your back arched that way because you're letting your hips or your belly drop down, you could hurt your back. That's not the proper form. So tighten up those abs and keep your hips lifted high. Make sure your body stays in one straight line from your heels to your shoulders the entire time. And keep your head still. The other really common thing I see people do is to lower their forehead to the ground. You don't want to do that. Your forehead should never touch the ground. Your hips or your belly should never touch the ground. The only thing you're trying to get down to the ground, or as close to the ground as you can, is your chest, okay? So tighten up the abs, keep the hips lifted high. Do not allow your hips or your belly to drop down like this. Don't bob your head up and down, keep your head still. Bend your elbows, and keeping your body in one straight line from your heels to your shoulders, lower your chest as close to the ground as you can, and then push yourself back up. Again, maintaining that straight line from your heels to your shoulders and making sure your back stays flat and your abs stay engaged the whole time. If you don't have dumbbells, but you do have a kettlebell or a medicine ball, you can absolutely use one of those instead. You can do something very similar. It's a slight modification, so let me know if you need to see that. If you have dumbbells but they're rounded on the bottom, I would prefer that you not hold on to them while you're doing your push-ups. So you really can do the same thing, just have your dumbbells here, and then come down and put your hands flat on the ground inside of your dumbbells. Jump or step your feet back so you're in a plank position. Do your push-up. And then from here, keeping one hand flat on the ground, you can pick up the other hand, grab your weight and row it, then put the weight down, let go. And now keeping this hand flat on the ground, you pick up the opposite hand, pick up the weight and row on the other side, do your plank row on the other side. Put the weight down and let go. Step or jump the feet back in, and then as you stand, you can pick up your weights and continue with your hammer curl and your overhead press. And then again, when it's time for your next rep, bend down, put the weights on the ground and let go. Hands flat on the ground, step or jump the feet back and continue with your push-up, row, row, and then stand and pick up the weights as you stand. Finish with your hammer curl and your overhead press. And that modification that I just walked you through for rounded dumbbells, you could also do that same modification if you're using household items for your weights, like maybe water bottles or cans of soup. So if you don't have dumbbells, look for household items that will work. So you could grab a shampoo bottle and fill it with water or uncooked rice, for example. You could do the same thing with a water bottle. You could even just grab a couple of cans of soup out of the pantry. But because those items are not flat on the bottom, and because they're not meant to be able to support your entire body weight, if you're holding on to them while in a plank position, then you can use them, but just do the modification that I just showed you so that you are not holding on to them in a plank position. But as long as you apply that modification, any number of household items will work. Just find something that is safe so that you can maintain a grip on it throughout the entire exercise. You're not going to drop it and hurt yourself. And as long as it's not too heavy for you, then again, any number of household items will work as long as you apply that modification and as long as you mind your form and make sure that you're doing your push-ups correctly. If you don't have anything that's going to work for weight, or you just don't feel comfortable adding weight to the workout for whatever reason and you need a completely equipment-free substitution, then just substitute with any burpee variation you want. There are a million different burpee variations with or without push-ups. So if you don't want to do push-ups, you can choose a burpee variation that doesn't include a push-up. Again, just make sure that if you choose a burpee variation that does include a push-up, that you are minding your form. Keep your body in one straight line, either from your heels to your shoulders or from your knees to your shoulders if you're doing knee push-ups. Make sure your abs are tight. Make sure your core is engaged the whole time. Keep those hips lifted high. Keep your head still and keep your back flat while you're doing your push-ups. So that's it. That's the first exercise. The espressos are a buy-in. So I'm going to do 30 espressos as a buy-in. Then I'm going to move on to the main part of the workout, which is going to be 30 minutes of interval training. So I'm including this workout on my playlist of 30-minute workouts because if you want to just do 30 minutes today and that's it, you can skip the espressos. Just skip the buy-in, use the chapter markers to skip ahead to the main part of the workout, and you can just do your 30 minutes of interval training. That is totally up to you. But here's how the 30-minute interval training portion of the workout is going to work. So we start with our 30 espressos, that's our buy-in. Then we move on to intervals, 10-second rest intervals, 50-second work intervals times 30 rounds. So that's our 30 minutes. We have 3 different exercises that we're going to be doing. For those exercises, we're using just 1 dumbbell for each exercise. But again, if you don't have a dumbbell or you don't want to add weight to the workout, I provided equipment-free substitutions for each exercise in Friday's video. So again, click the link in the iCard and it will also be linked below, and watch the last video that I shared because in that video I went into a lot of detail explaining and demonstrating each exercise and showing you the equipment-free modifications for each exercise. But basically there are 3 different exercises. We're going to do each exercise on both sides. So that's going to eat up 6 intervals. So that's our first 6 intervals. With our next 6 intervals, we're going to jump rope. 10 seconds rest and then 50 seconds to complete as many revolutions with your jump rope as you can. We'll repeat that 6 times in a row. So by that point, we'll be 12 minutes into the workout. Then we're going to repeat that once more. So we're going to do our 3 weighted exercises again, 1 interval on each side. So that'll be our next 6 minutes. And then we'll do another 6 minutes of interval jump rope. So at this point, we've completed 24 minutes of interval training. We'll finish up by going through that circuit of 3 exercises 1 more time, spending 1 work interval on each side for each of those 3 exercises. Remember that I always take the time to type out the instructions in the description box down below the video, and you're going to watch me do it. So watch me do it, read the instructions. But then of course, as always, if anything is unclear with the format, if you have any questions about the exercises we're doing today, any doubts about how to do these exercises with the correct form, please just ask. I'm always here to help. I'm always here to clarify anything that is not made clear in the description box or by my explanation, okay? So don't hesitate to reach out if you have questions or if you need help with beginner modifications. It is so important to me that all of my workouts are always accessible to anyone and everyone who wants to do them with me, so I'm always here to help facilitate that. Do not hesitate to reach out if you have questions or if you need help. Now, as far as the jump rope goes, I always jump rope in the same way. I just kind of jog in place like this while I'm jumping rope, but you can jump with your feet together if that's more comfortable for you. Any style of jump rope you want to do is fine. And if you don't have a jump rope, you can pantomime jumping rope. They actually sell jump ropes without the rope. It's really just 2 handles that you hold on to while you do this. Just pretend that you're jumping over an imaginary rope. So if you're already jumping over an imaginary rope, I really think you can do that while holding onto imaginary handles. So that is a completely legitimate option to just pantomime jumping rope. If you don't want to do that, then any cardio exercise is fine. So if you want to stay on intervals with me, we're on 10-second rest intervals and 50-second work intervals. So you can jog in place for those 50-second work intervals. You can do high knees, you can do jumping jacks, you can do mountain climbers. Any type of cardio exercise you want to do is fine. And if you don't want to be on intervals, then you can do another type of cardio exercise. So each jump rope section, we're doing 6 intervals of jump rope in a row. That's 6 minutes. So each of our 2 jump rope sections is going to be 6 minutes in length. You can substitute with 6 minutes of any other kind of cardio exercise you want. So for example, if you have an elliptical or a treadmill or an exercise bike or something like that, you could hop on one of those for 6 minutes. That would be perfect. But you could also do up and down the stairs. You could shadow box. If you have a heavy bag, that would be such a great substitution. You can work on your heavy bag for 6 minutes while on jumping rope for those 2 jump rope sections. Really just 6 minutes, either using intervals or not, but 6 minutes of any kind of cardio exercise you want to do is totally fine. So I think that's it. I think I've covered everything. Remember to click the link in the iCard, and remember it is also linked down below the video to check out the previous workout video that I shared from Friday, because that is where you're going to find all of these exercises that we're about to do today, demonstrated and explained, and that's where you're going to see all of your equipment-free substitutions demonstrated and explained. But if you are ready to go ahead and start this workout with me today, go ahead and grab a mat or a towel. You're going to need something you can lie down on comfortably. Grab weights if you're using weight. So dumbbells, a kettlebell, a medicine ball, or maybe household items like shampoo bottles or water bottles or a couple of cans of soup. Grab your jump rope if you have one, and if you're jumping rope with me today, take a minute to make sure you're good and warmed up, and when you're ready, let's get started. So I'll be starting with my buy-in. I'm doing 30 espressos. So again, if you don't have dumbbells, any burpee variation you want to do is fine. And if you want to skip the buy-in and just do the 30 minutes of interval training, you can use the chapter markers in the description box down below the video to skip ahead. And I will include the equipment-free substitutions for all of the exercises up here in the upper left-hand corner of the screen, so you can follow along with those modifications if you don't have dumbbells and you don't have a jump rope. I'm going to be timing this first part of the workout separately, so when you're ready, if you're doing the buy-in with me, 30 reps of espressos or any burpee variation of your choosing. So my watch is going. I will be starting my timer in 3, 2, 1, go. So pick up the weights, and now, weights down, jump the feet back, push up on the dumbbells, row, row, jump the feet in, stand, hammer curl, overhead press. That's 1. That's 2. So we're doing 30 of these. Just do your best. That's 10 for me. I'm pacing myself for 30, so I'm gonna take a little rest break here. If you are stronger than I am, and you don't need to rest, you don't have to rest. Go at your own pace, okay? Just make sure you're minding your form. Make sure that you are never sacrificing your form for speed. I feel like I could use a longer rest, but I want to get this buy-in done as quickly as I can, so I'm gonna go ahead and pick up the weights and see if I can manage another 10 before I have to stop and take a long rest break like the one I just did. So if you need a longer rest break, pause the video and come back when you're ready. Only continue when you feel that you are capable of doing so with good form. So when you are ready to continue, here we go, I'm picking up my count at 10. I'm 6 minutes in, and I've barely completed 20 reps. When I'm in really good shape, I can do 25 of those in under 5 minutes because I've done it before several times as a 5-minute workout. Just 5 minutes of espressos, maximum reps. And my personal record for 5 minutes of espressos is 25. So, significantly slower than that today, but it's okay, it's where I am right now. Just 10 more to go. That's 25. I have to do 5 more. I was thinking I would be able to complete this in under 10 minutes. I don't know if that's gonna happen because I still have to do 5 more reps and I do need a few seconds to rest, so. I'm gonna go ahead and push through, start on my final 5 reps, and hopefully I can finish in under 10 minutes. It's still doable. All right, pick up my count at 25. When you're ready, here we go. Final 5 reps. That's 26. 4 more. Three more. That's 28. Just 2 more, we got this. That's 29, last one. Push. So definitely much longer than I wanted it to take, but I got it done and it's over. Our buy-in is complete and we are finished with espressos for the rest of the day, unless you feel like doing more. If you feel like doing more espressos than that, you go for it. So now, getting ready to start the main part of the workout. This is our 30 minutes of interval training. Actually, I'll put this over here. So, you'll need your mat. And if you're adding weight, you'll need just 1 dumbbell. I put the other one to the side. For the rest of the workout, I'm just gonna be using 1 dumbbell at a time. So a water bottle or a shampoo bottle or a can of soup will work. And again, remember, if you don't have anything that's going to work for weight, or you just don't wanna add weight to the workout, keep an eye on the upper left-hand corner of the screen. That's where you will see me doing the equipment-free modifications. So I'm going to reset my timer. I had it set as a stopwatch for the buy-in. Now I'm resetting it. So 2 intervals. The first interval is a 10-second rest interval. The second interval is a 50-second work interval times 30 rounds. So that's our 30 minutes. Actually, I'm gonna have it down here. Really, I can just clip it here. All right, that works. If you feel that you need a longer rest break so that you can have some more time to towel off, let your breathing normalize a bit more, let your heart rate come down a bit more, get something to drink, you can pause the video and just come back when you're ready. I'm going to start our 30-minute interval training portion of the workout right now. So starting as always with a 10-second rest interval. We always start with our rest interval so that we have a few seconds to get into position and get ready without losing anything off of our work interval. I will tell you that I anticipate losing something off of my first jump rope interval because it's probably going to take me more than 10 seconds to rearrange everything. So just do your best. But we start with a rest interval so that we can get started as soon as the work interval starts. So when you're ready, here we go. Starting my timer in 3, 2, 1, go. This is our 10-second rest interval. So come down to the mat, bend your knees, drop them to one side, weight by the shoulder, and now pressing the weight up overhead. And as you do that, you're gonna twist, lifting your shoulder blades up off the mat and using those obliques to come back as you return to your starting position. Controlling the movement as you lower that dumbbell back down to your shoulder and controlling the movement as you lower your shoulder blade back down to the mat. Seconds rest. Staying right where we are, we're going to go into our weighted side crunches. So weight up by the shoulder, bottom arm flat on the mat. That weight is resting on your top shoulder. You're going to crunch, then tap the knees down on the mat. Bring the knees back up and lower. Return to your starting position. So again, we're feeling those obliques. 10 seconds rest. Now coming up onto the knees, weight up by the shoulder. The side that the weight is on, that's the foot that's going to step forward. And the other foot follows. Opposite foot that follows. So that when you are in this position, right here, it's always the leg that's on the same side of the weight that's forward. Rest for 10. Switch hands with the dumbbell. We're doing that same exercise on the other side. So dumbbell on the opposite shoulder. That's where the dumbbell is, so that's the foot that steps forward first, and the foot that steps back last. Back to side crunches. Other side. Weight up by the shoulder. Bottom hand on the mat in front of you for support. working those obliques on that twist as you drop the knees down. And then again, use your obliques to lift them back up. Finishing up our circuit. Drop the knees to the side. Weight starts on your shoulder. Your starting position, both shoulder blades are flat on the mat. As you press the weight up overhead, you're twisting, lifting both shoulder blades up off the mat. That's our circuit as quickly as you can. We only have 10 seconds to make this transition. It's not going to be enough time for me. So that's our 50-second work interval already. So if your space is different than mine, you might be able to make this transition a little bit smoother, a little bit more quickly. I knew I was going to lose some time off of this work interval. It's okay, just do your best. This is our first 50-second work interval to jump rope, completing as many revolutions with your jump rope as you can during the work interval or some other type of cardio exercise. Any kind of cardio exercise you want to do is fine. But we're going to do this 6 times in a row. It's going to be really tough, even though it's only 6 minutes. 50 seconds is a long work interval, especially for jump rope. So just do your best. That's 2. 4 more. More. intervals. Last jump rope interval. After this interval, we're going to start again at the top. Going back down to the mat as quickly as you can. Only 10 seconds to make the transition. So do your best. We're starting again at the top of the circuit. So drop the knees to one side and press the weight. My body's like halfway off my mat. I'm probably not even in the shot. I was rushing to get down here and lose as little time as possible off of my work interval. I thought about doing each of these 6-minute segments separately. But I wanted the workout to be exactly 30 minutes, so I decided to just do it all together. Knowing that I was going to be losing time off a couple of my work intervals, especially when we make that transition from down on the mat to jump rope. So just do your best. Make those transitions as fast as you can. That is another possibility. You can always set your timer for the same intervals, 10 seconds rest, 50 seconds work. But instead of doing 30 rounds, you can set it for 6 rounds. Do the circuit. And then once your 6 rounds of 10-second rest intervals, 50-second work intervals is up, you will have completed the circuit once, taking 6 minutes. You can then pause for a second, take a break if you need it. Take a break for 30 seconds or 60 seconds or a couple of minutes, however long of a rest break you need. Keep your timer set for 6 rounds of those 2 intervals. Do your 6 minutes of jump rope. And then again, you can have a minute or longer to rest. And you may not even need the rest time necessarily. It may just be that you don't want to lose any time off of your work interval, but if you just move directly on to what we're doing now, second time through the circuit. That'll be another 6 minutes. And just continue that way so that you're doing the exact same workout with the exact same intervals, the exact same exercises, and essentially the exact same format, but you're just breaking it up into 5 little 6-minute segments. It'll make it a bit more manageable, but it'll also make your workout take a little longer than 30 minutes. So it's just a matter of preference. Bend the knees, let them fall to one side. Rest your top hand on your top leg, weight by the shoulder, and press it up overhead. Twisting. As you press the weight up overhead. And engaging those obliques to control the movement as you twist back. Lowering the weight back down to your shoulder and returning to your starting position with both shoulder blades on the mat. So after this work interval, we start our next 6-minute cardio section. So again, I'm gonna have just 10 seconds to make that transition. I already know it's not gonna be enough. So here we go, that's our 10-second rest interval. So get up, grab your jump rope. As soon as the timer beeps, there we go, that's the start of your 50-second work interval. So ideally, I would already be jumping rope right now, but like I said, I knew going into it that I was gonna be losing time off of this first jump work interval, so I'm not too worried about it. Here we go. Workout is still gonna be plenty tough, even though my first jump rope interval is really only like 30 seconds instead of 50. So we're gonna do 6 of these. And then we're going to go back down to the mat and repeat our circuit one more time. And that's our 30 minutes. So let's push through. That's our second jump rope interval of 6. way down. 3 more. That's 4. 2 more. Keep pushing. Final jump rope work interval. Let's push through. After this, we have only 10 seconds to get back down to the mat. So get ready to make that transition as quickly as you can. Okay, 10 seconds. Fast, fast, fast. Down to the mat. Grab the weight. Bend the knees. Drop to one side. And press and twist. The transition takes longer than it needs to for me because I'm making a video. So I have to move my mat. If I left my mat where it is for the jump rope section, you wouldn't be able to see me. And even if you could, it would be a really weird angle. You wouldn't really be able to tell what I was doing. It'd be a pretty bad workout video, so it takes me a few extra seconds to make that transition. If you're doing the workout right along with me, obviously you can save yourself a few seconds by not having to like rearrange your space in between each round of the circuit and each round of jump rope. It is still kind of a tricky transition, and you might still find that you're losing a little bit off of your work interval, but again, just do your best. I'm for sure losing something off of those work intervals, but Just making the transition as quickly as I can and getting to the next work interval as quickly as I can and making sure I can complete as many reps as possible with each work interval without sacrificing my form. We're just about halfway through the circuit. Just 3 intervals left to go. So put the dumbbell on the other shoulder, step up, press up, and back down to the knees. Making sure that when you're in this position, with one foot forward, the foot that's forward is always the foot that's on the same side as the dumbbell. Just so that you make sure that you're providing sufficient support for that extra weight on that side. Side crunches. Adding weight to this exercise increases the difficulty a lot. So remember that even if you started holding on to weight, you can always switch to a lighter weight, or you can drop the weight altogether and do this exercise using only your own body weight. You can also eliminate this little knee drop right here and just do side crunches with or without weight. It's your workout, so do what works for you. All right, we made it. This is our final work interval, so drop the knees to the side, weight on the shoulder, press and twist. Lifting the shoulder blades up as you press the weight up and twist, and controlling the movement, slow and controlled movement as you engage those obliques to twist back, lowering your shoulder blades back down to the mat, and with control, lowering your dumbbell or your kettlebell or your water bottle or your can of soup back down to your shoulder, returning to your starting position. Really important that you're controlling the movement and not just letting the weight drop. That's it. That's our 30 minutes. Get up, shake it out. Really good job, you guys. That was a tough 40+ minutes in this heat. We are not quite finished yet. Remember that no workout of mine is ever complete until we have done our bonus burpee, so we have just 1 rep left to go. However, when I do a jump rope workout, in addition to my bonus burpee, I also like to do a bonus set of 100 with my jump rope. When I say a set of 100, I mean 100 revolutions of the rope. So if you would like to join me, any style of jump rope you want to do is fine. We're just counting 100 revolutions of the rope just for a quick little bonus. So grab your jump rope. We're counting to 100 like this. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 100. So that's our little jump rope bonus. And now we have just one rep left to go. Let's go ahead and do our bonus burpee together, and then the workout will be officially complete. Final rep of the day. When you're ready, here we go. With that, the workout is now officially complete, but it is Monday, so that means instead of a McFlurry minute, today we are going to do another Monday McFlurry mobility challenge. I found another mobility challenge on Instagram. I'm going to try it right now, and if I am able to successfully complete this mobility challenge, everybody wins a free McFlurry. If you would like to try this mobility challenge with me, you will need access to a sturdy wall. So give me just a minute to rearrange a few things, and I will meet you over at the wall for today's Monday McFlurry Mobility Challenge. Okay, so apparently I found this one on Facebook, not Instagram. It's super simple. She's just rolling down, touching her toes, and then rolling back up. But apparently it makes it really difficult to do it up against the wall. So it's super simple, but it might be really hard. I may or may not be able to do it. I was assuming that the challenge was to roll down with your feet actually touching the wall, but as I'm watching this reel, I'm watching it right now, and I'll put it on the screen so you can see exactly what I'm looking at. Okay, so standing roll down challenge. Now see, it says feet close to the wall. It specifically does not say feet are touching the wall. It says feet close to the wall. So she's standing with her feet close to the wall. See, it says close to the wall. Roll down and roll back up. So it looks super simple, but I guess the challenge is to see how close to the wall I can get my feet. So I don't know if it's possible to do it with your feet touching the wall, or if I'll be able to do it with my feet touching the wall. But I guess I'll start with my feet an inch or two away from the wall and just kind of slowly inch in and see if I can get my feet as close to the wall as hers are. It's really hard to tell how close her feet are to the wall because of the baseboard and because of the angle that she has her camera at, but it looks like they're about, I don't know, an inch or so away. She's not really specific. She just does feet close to the wall. So let's give it a shot and see what happens. So right where this sun is making a line on the concrete, I'm going to use that as my guide. So it's kind of far away from the wall, but just so I know where I'm starting and I can just inch in from here. I'm going to start with my feet kind of far from the wall. That's probably about, I don't know, 6 inches or so. So let's just start from here, starting with my back pressed up against the wall. And I'm just going to roll down. So I assume we're starting with the head and kind of rolling down. I think she kind of had her fingers, she had her fingers to the side. I don't think it matters, but hey, I think you have to keep your booty in contact with the wall the whole time. And then reverse the movement and roll back up. Easy peasy, Georgian wheezy. So let's move the feet in an inch or so. Okay. Kind of splitting the difference, so maybe I moved them in 2 inches, I don't know, something like that. Hopefully you can see how far away from the wall my feet are. So let's try it from here. Roll down, starting with my head, bringing my chin to my chest, and then continuing. Oh yeah, she had her hands to the side. I keep wanting to have my hands on the front of my legs, but I really don't think it matters, because then she was kind of putting her fingers by the outsides of her toes. Put them by the front of your toes. I don't think it matters. And now reverse the movement. Rolling back up, keeping that booty in contact with the wall the whole time. Still really easy for me anyway. Let me know how you're doing with it. So let's try about another inch or so closer to the wall. So now we're getting pretty close to the wall. There wasn't a set definition of what close to the wall meant, so I'm only about 1.5 inches away, I think. Something like that, something in that neighborhood. So let's try it from here and see if it starts getting harder or even if I'm able to do it. So pressing my back into the wall, hands by the sides, chin to chest, and start rolling down. All the way down, keeping that booty in contact with the wall the whole time. Touch the toes, and now reverse the movement. And roll back up. That's it. So that one was actually way harder. That last inch really made a huge difference. So again, my feet are, I'm gonna have to measure it, but they're like, I think that's less than 1.5 inches. It's probably like 1 inch to 1.5 inches, somewhere in that neighborhood. And I really was struggling to get all the way down and touch my toes with that one. So I might try one more and just see if I can inch my foot a little bit closer to the wall and still get all the way down. But I'm calling that a win because I think 1 inch to 1.5 inches qualifies as close to the wall. So I think I did it. And I think after this, we're all meeting at McDonald's for free McFlurries. But I'm gonna try it once more with my feet just a little bit closer. I should get a ruler or something. Let me grab a ruler and I'm gonna measure 1 inch and see if I can do it with my feet exactly 1 inch from the wall. I'll be right back. Okay, so I have a tape measure. So let me pull this out a few inches and let's see. My foot, there's a little like kind of divot in the concrete here. So I'm doing my best to get my foot back to exactly where it was that last time. And I wanna see how far was my heel from the wall. Let's see, a little bit less than, just about 2 inches. So let me see if I can slide it back a little bit more so that the very heel of my shoe is now exactly, let me see, well, it's less than 1.5 inches. It's about 1.25 inches. So that's quite close to the wall. I have a feeling I might not be successful at this distance. Let me see. That's actually about 1 inch. It's, I think, less than 1.25 inches. It's hard to tell, even with the measure. I'm gonna say that's 1.25 inches. So let's give it a try at 1.25 inches. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this because that last one was pretty challenging, and now my feet are just about 1/2 inch closer. So let's give it a shot. I did it. That's actually pretty tough. I wonder if I can get them just a little bit closer. That's barely more than 1 inch away from the wall, and that was kind of tough. Let me see if I can inch them just a tiny bit closer, just to see how close to the wall I really can get them. All right, so as I'm looking straight down, the very back of my shoe is less than 1 inch from the wall, as close as I can tell from here. Now, it would be different if I was doing this barefoot because the back of my shoe is a little bit farther back than my actual heel. So I probably should be doing this barefoot. And really you could like mark lines on the floor so you can tell exactly how far away from the wall you are. But a post that I'm following, the reel that I'm basing this off of, is very non-specific. She just said close to the wall. So I'm gonna say that if the back of my shoe is less than 1 inch from the wall, that's close to the wall. So I'm gonna try it from here. Why do I love doing that so much? All right, so we're now in under an inch territory. Let's give it a try from this distance and see how we do. So chin to chest and roll down. I guess that quarter of an inch just makes the difference. So let me try it one more time from this distance. I didn't move my left foot at all, so let me try to get my right foot exactly in line with my left foot. I guess I could just measure it again. Let me grab my tape measure. All right, so again, the very, very back of my shoe is less than 1 inch from the wall. So let's try it one more time from this distance. This is actually really tough. Takes a lot of control. So here we go. Hands are at the sides. Feet are less than 1 inch from the wall. We're going to roll down, so tuck the chin to the chest. And roll down. Touch the toes. Oh, I almost had it. I lost it. I want to try it one more time from this distance. All right, last time. Last attempt with feet less than 1 inch away from the wall. Let's see if we can do this. So hands at the side, and we're gonna roll down, tuck the chin to the chest, and roll. Touch the toes, and now reverse the movement. So roll back up. Holy cannoli, that is not easy with your feet less than 1 inch from the wall. Give it a try and let me know how close to the wall you were able to get your feet. I'm really curious to know, because that got really tough really fast. It started out super easy when I had my feet a couple of inches from the wall, and then it was still easy, still easy, still easy. But once I got to that like 2 inches away mark, it started to get tougher, and then each time after that got super tough. So this is probably about as close to the wall as I'm gonna be able to manage. So again, the very back of my sneaker is about 3/4 of an inch from the wall. So my foot itself is probably about 1 inch from the wall. So see if you can get your feet to within 1 inch of the wall and complete that challenge successfully. Let me know how you do with it. So I'm not gonna lie, that one was actually a lot more difficult than I thought it was going to be, because it's just such a simple movement, but doing it with your feet almost touching the wall is actually really challenging. However, I was able to successfully complete the challenge with my feet less than 1 inch from the wall. So I say we all get to eat ice cream for lunch. Free McFlurries all around. You're welcome. What better way to start the week than with free ice cream? I mean, come on. So if you did this mobility challenge with me, please let me know what you thought of it and how you did. And if you did this workout with me today, thank you so much. Please let me know what you thought of it and how you did. I loved this circuit so much when we did it on Friday that I felt like it needed a little more love. So I decided to turn it into a longer workout, and I thought this workout was really, really great. I loved the added difficulty of doing the 30 espressos first as a buy-in, but even without the buy-in, I think just as a 30-minute standalone interval training workout, I thought it was really great. It was challenging, but it moved quickly. I really enjoyed it, so I hope you liked it as well. Thank you so much to everyone who has been working out with me lately. And even if you're not doing the workouts with me, thank you for watching the videos. Thank you for liking and sharing the videos. Thank you so much for all of your wonderful and supportive and engaging comments. You guys, it really does mean the world to me. Thank you to all of my new subscribers. If you are not subscribed already, please subscribe. And of course, a great big thank you to those of you who have been subscribed to my channel for years. Please know that I appreciate you all so very much. One final reminder that if anything is unclear with the format, if you have any doubt about how to do the exercises we were doing today with the correct form, if you need any further help with equipment-free substitutions, or if you need to see beginner modifications, please just ask. I am always here to help. That is gonna do it for today, but before I say goodbye, I have to say one final thank you to those of you who have been watching the videos all the way to the end and commenting with the secret code phrase of the day. So before I say goodbye, I will give you today's secret code phrase of the day. It is literally everything is in space. So if you are still watching this video, hello. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. Please let me know that someone is still watching by going down to the comment section and leaving me a comment that says, literally everything is in space. That is gonna do it for today, and I will see you all next time. Bye.